And now, live from San Antonio, Mike Taylor.
Yes. Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. It is Taylor. Good to have all of you boys back up in here. If you're getting by the channel live, I highly thank you for doing that. If you are watching us from the future, which is absolutely allowable and possible by the miracle of the technological internet world we live in, thank you for that too. You can become a member of this thing for only $6 a month. You can watch it for free, listen to it for free, subscribe to it for free. It makes us look good when you subscribe. And it really makes us happy when you become a member for just $6 a month. So here we are. It is Wednesday. It is Taylor. Thank you as we come to you from LG Studios in San Antonio, Texas, for People I Want to Punch Wednesday, which is being brought to you by the law office of Orlando Kell, the official lawyer of Thunderdome these days. He's a longtime Thunderdomer, Orlando Kell, a proud Longhorn. So if you support Texas, he don't care if you do or not. He gonna help you. But he's a Longhorn for what it's worth. He is a man and a firm that they do just about everything you can imagine when it comes to the legalese of this world, and they really specialize in, which is the thing that sits well with me and is near and dear to my heart. These boys over at Orlando Kell, they concentrate pretty good on family law, which means they like to, and they also like to support daddies. There's a lot of law firms in this state. They want to help women ruin a motherfucker's life. That ain't the case at Orlando Kell. They want to help dudes because so many oftentimes men get behind the eight ball, and they specialize in helping daddies in divorce cases, post-divorce cases. In the instance that you've got to change your decree, she's not doing what she's supposed to do per visitation and whatnot. Orlando Kell's the guy to go get advice from. He's our guy. He presents people I want to punch. So, in addition to punching exes, maybe y'all want to punch anybody else in the world. Who do you want to punch today, Thunderdome? And why? Jump in here on the chat if you boys are watching or listening to us live. Jump in here and chat with us. We want to hear from you. We'll go through some of the better ones as we get into the show this morning. So I'll get mine out of the way, and we'll see if Lawrence has a punch. He's been real pacifying lately. Pacifying. He's been a pacifist. He's not had any ass whips. He hadn't punched nobody hardly.
I got one today.
Okay. Oh, okay. Very good. Good. I was gonna ask you why you're so happy. You need to balance out some of that damn happiness with some anger. Men need to express their vitriol on occasion, as long as they do it healthy. And this is what this show allows you to do that, just to verbally punch somebody. If you could get away with it, who would it be and why? So you boys jump in here. All right, so, it's a guy that's probably been punched more than any other human being in all of the years that I've been doing People I Want to Punch Wednesday, whether it was on the old radio show or this new Love You Hard media empire that I've created now. Jerry Jones has been a guy who's probably been the single most punched human being on the planet. I'm probably second or third myself. But today, and I don't like to punch Jerry. I can punch him every day if I wanted to, but I like to spread those out, and I like to keep my Jerry punches for when it really means something. And this week, boy, does it ever. I want to punch Cowboys owner and general manager Jerry Jones for a couple of things. One, I want to punch Jerry because he sat on his ass yesterday at the trade deadline. Why Jerry Jones did not make a trade, and we'll see what he's saying today. I'm sure that they're going to act like, "Oh, this is the team we like. We never considered nothing. We're going to go to the Super Bowl with Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdell and DeMarcus Ware, and we're going to have a good time with Jason Novacek over at tight end and Dez Bryant, and whatever." Jerry's lost his mind. That's the other reason I want to punch him, too, because he fucked up DeMarcus Ware's name. But punch Jerry Jones and the Cowboys for not bringing in a running back. I have no problem with the decision to release Zeke Elliott. I would have done the same. I would have never given Zeke Elliott the original contract, but that's neither here nor there. The Cowboys made the decision to release Zeke. and I was absolutely okay with that. Then they made the decision to make Rico Dowdle the thunder, I guess, to Tony Pollard's lightning. And I was okay with that. I trusted them. I didn't know much about Rico Dowdle. I just assumed they knew what they were doing. He's not done shit. The running back position as a core unit of players is not good. They needed to upgrade yesterday to stay up there with the elite clubs in the league. Who are the elite clubs in the NFC? Hell, I'm not even sure right now. I guess the Eagles, and that's about it. The Eagles now may be the lone elite team left in the NFC. The 49ers treated the Cowboy game last month like it was the damn Super Bowl and acted all big dick and hadn't won a game since and have completely just fallen off, which is when they made a big trade yesterday. We'll see if it helps them. But the Cowboys should not have sat still. I'm sure that they had an opportunity to trade for a player or two. I never want to overpay for a guy, especially a running back. And y'all know how I feel about running backs. You bring them in, you run them into the ground, you ship their ass out. There's plenty of good ones out there, and the Cowboys don't have enough. There are running backs in this league. There are teams with more than one good. There are teams that were willing to trade a decent running back yesterday at the deadline, and Dallas didn't do it. And they may rue the day. They drafted Deuce Vaughn. Not that Deuce Vaughn's obviously not going to be the thunder to Tony Pollard's lightning, but where's this scat back wide receiver hybrid role that I was told that Deuce Vaughn was going to be? He's not been Darren Sproles. He's not been Devin Hester. They barely played Deuce Vaughn. Excuse me. So why are we drafting him? What are we doing out there with Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle? I liked Malik Davis last year. I thought Davis was going to be the complimentary guy to Tony Pollard. And hell, he can't get on the field. And they decided to roll with Rico Dowdle. They brought in that veteran guy that was in Tampa Bay, whose name escapes me. He didn't make the club out of training camp. He got suspended anyway. The Cowboys' running game is not good enough. And it's going to get exposed against the better teams. Well, I don't even know who the good teams are. On days when the game is close, unlike Sunday when it was a blowout, no one cared, 9 times out of 10, these games are going to come down to single digits. It's going to come down to winning time plays in winning time. And I don't know how this thing's going to shake down Sunday. They got to go up to Philadelphia. They may get thumped. But we may have a situation in winning time late in the game Sunday in a tight game in which you need some help from the running back position, and I don't believe the Cowboys have nearly enough. Tony Pollard was terrific as a platoon guy. He does not have a quality platoon partner this year, and I don't think Tony Pollard's been very good. Well, let me rephrase. He's the same guy. It's just he's not regressed. It's not like the injury in the playoff game has set him back. He's the same cat. He's in a different role. He was the yin. Zeke was a bit of the yang. He still has the same yin. They ain't got no yang, or whatever the hell the right way to say that is. I think you know what I'm saying. He's the same guy. You've just taken away another aspect of your running game that's affecting the entire thing overall. So punch the Cowboys and Jerry Jones for not upgrading the team at running back yesterday at the deadline. And then, of course, punch Jerry on Sunday. And sorry, we're late getting to this, but, it is what it is. We've had World Series and other podcasts and stuff that got in the way this week. Jerry completely forgot who he was inducting into the Ring of Honor. Look, okay, it's an honest mistake. They both were very good defenders. DeMarcus Lawrence is still on the team, so Jerry thinks about Tank Lawrence all the time. DeMarcus Ware was also very good. It's not like they've had 35 DeMarcuses. I can see where you get the two mixed up, but, man, it's just a bad look for an 80-year-old that we all think's lost his balls anyway. Here's Jerry butchering the Ring of Honor. And, of course, it's already an ass whip because Jimmy's not in this thing. And it's one more guy that goes into the Ring of Honor ahead of Jimmy Johnson that pisses off 95% of us anyway. So I'm already ass-whipped by a Ring of Honor induction anyway. And then you have the asshole owner who's solely responsible for not letting Jimmy Johnson into the Ring of Honor go out there and butcher a guy's name. Here's a little bit of the induction the other day of Jerry screwing it up. All right, so he had to correct himself. That's it. So that's it. That's all. So he butchers it and says Lawrence, and then he had like DeMarcus Ware. I mean, DeMarcus. You decide to induct this guy, and he treats DeMarcus Ware like a second son, well, a third son, unless he's disowned Jerry Jr., or he's got another fun baby out there we don't know about. I don't know how many sons he has, but Ware is kind of like an adopted son of Jerry's, and you screw the guy's name up on the day you're inducting him into the Ring of Honor, which we can even argue that DeMarcus Ware shouldn't even be in the Ring of Honor. He was a terrific player. How much winning did they do? That poor guy had to leave the organization in order to do any decent winning. He's one of these mid-2000s guys that played toward the latter part of Parcells' era and then into the Jason Garrett, Wade Phillips era. All those guys give me the red ass, even the good ones, because those Cowboys teams never won jack shit. You look up there at the Ring of Honor, this is the first Cowboy to get inducted into the Ring of Honor that was not a part of any real winning. And it chaps my hide. Because I don't know you should put DeMarcus Ware in the Ring of Honor anyway. The Cowboys have always had one of the most elite, exclusive, VIP Ring of Honors in all of pro sports. You have to be a stud to get in. Now, I know Ware got into the Hall of Fame, sorry. So I'm not saying he shouldn't be. You could make the case that he should not. Too Tall Jones is not. Whatever. But he's certainly, and what makes it questionable is he's the first guy of that era that I mentioned, the Romo era, that did absolutely no winning ever, that winds up in the Ring of Honor, and then the owner goes out there and butchers his name, and we're already pissed off anyway because Jimmy's not in, because of pure stubbornness. And I'm as long as Jerry is alive, we're never going to have Jimmy into the Ring of Honor. And it's taken away it's taken away all those good feels you have as it pertains to the Ring of Honor. And it's a pain in the ass and it's an ass whip. All right, that's my punch. LG, who you punching today and why, man?
I would like to punch that pilot, Captain Emerson, that tried to turn off the engines the other day.
It's a good one.
Because there's new info. He took shrooms 48 hours before boarding that flight.
Wouldn't they have worn off by then?
Absolutely.
So he's making up bullshit about
He's trying to get off for trying to kill 80-something people.
He was sober.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Did y'all hear this story? LG and I talked about this the other day a little bit. Some asshole pilot that worked for Alaskan Airlines decided, and he wasn't even piloting. He was a pilot, but he was catching a ride. So he was sitting in the jump chute, the jump seat that's in the cockpit with the pilots flying the plane. He was just chilling, catching a ride, and decided to run at the gears and try to shut the engines off to crash the plane full of people. That motherfucker needs to be given the death penalty.
Exactly. Don't let him get off on saying he was hallucinating.
Bullshit.
48 hours before? Come on now.
Mm-hmm. At the very least, he needs to go to prison for the rest of his life. He tried to kill 80-something people. And he's been charged with 80-some-odd counts of murder. So they're not going to let him off. He's in trouble. But honestly, guys like that, just kill them. If we were animals like birds or squirrels, we'd have killed that motherfucker by now. Vigilante warfare. If you're a retard bird,
You get thrown out of the nest.
they kick your ass out because you're a detriment to the society of the birds. Everyone's lives are endangered because you're alive, so they kill your ass. They peck your eyeballs out and kick you out of the nest.
A retard bird.
Sorry about that. Is that unfortunate in 2023?
A little unfortunate.
Well, what are you going to do, man?
Mike Taylor, Jr., second base.
I didn't mean Let me rephrase. An evil bird. Eaten up with evil. Like Hamas. Like the leader of Hamas, who I think we killed last night, didn't we? Or the Israelis did. Didn't we get some big leader of some Hamas got blown to shit?
No clue.
Good for him. That's the wrong choice of words. Evil bird. Messed up bird. But
thanks, Frank.
But I will back in the day. Tex-Mex Frank's up in here. What's up, Holmes, with a super chat? Animals will run off the runt of the litter. the wheat sauce.
I know. That's probably how I got my dog.
Maybe, yeah. She's a little runt, right?
Yeah, she's a runt, yeah.
She's beautiful though, but
She
she's
was-
a house pet.
She was found on the streets of Brownsville.
Right,
She's
well,
hood.
She is. She's from the valley. What? Yeah, but that's different. She's a house. She's a little house pet that was bred for being a pet. She's not the survival of a community of squirrels was not dependent upon Ellie Mae your dogo. In the wild, they kill your ass. So it's just how it goes. And so anyway, that's a long way of saying let's kill this pilot.
What's going on there? You having issues?
Yeah, but I fixed it. Look, it went out, and then I figured out how to fix it. You'll be proud of me.
All right, good.
But
for
it's
you.
real slow and behind, and there are no chats, so I'm thinking it's fucked up.
Yeah, I think it's about time to get a replacement.
Tex-Mex Frank's chat hasn't showed up yet, so we'll see if
Oh
it'll
no,
show
he
up as
just
we
bought
go.
some stickers. It's like a #1 sticker.
Oh, he bought stickers?
Yeah, if you look at the chat there's a little sticker. Look at that.
Where's the sticker?
Look at your little chat on the left.
There's a heart. Okay.
It says Tex-Mex Frank right there.
No, see? Yeah, see? This,
it's
it's the monitor.
Yeah, it's gone.
Well, if we get any chats, maybe you can read a few later, because I'm not seeing any of them.
Oh, he bought it like a #1 sticker with balloons.
Oh, very
very
good. Thank
cute.
you, Frank. Thank you, Holmes. All right, so that's it. That's who we're punching. Punch that damn pilot. What was his name? Emerson? Piece of shit.
Yeah, that's all I remember. Captain Emerson.
Yeah, Captain Emerson and Jerry Jones. Punch both of them and murder the pilot. All right, so I'm not calling for Jerry's murder. I am calling for the death of the pilot who tried to kill 80 some odd people in the middle of the fucking air. All right, I want to say thank you very much before we get further rolling here any further. I want to say thank you to the. Oh, look at there we go. Thank you, LG. What did you do to what? How'd you fix it? I couldn't fix the son of a bitch.
I just hit refresh.
Oh, okay. So I'll try refresh 2 myself next time it doesn't work.
Yeah, that should work.
All right, cool. All right. So I want to thank some people in particular. I want to thank a guy called Nathan Britt, who is the El Jefe of a place called Sunburst Gymnastics. I want to thank a guy called Royce Alvarez, who is better known as at Royce the Voice on Twitter. And I want to thank Dale Storbeck, the official former community golf pro of Thunderdome, PGA Dale on Twitter. Those guys showed up, played golf with me in 40-degree, 25-mile-an-hour wind, driving rain all day Monday. I could not feel my finger or my wiener. All 11 fingers went out on me during this golf tournament.
Did it die again?
But I fixed it. I went back. It's messed up, bro.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We may have to call Hal and Shannon to see if they want to help replace this.
Yeah, you want to see if they'll buy me an iPad?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Well, I mean, they bought us the Stream Deck, the 2023
let's
Thunderdome
not
Mike
overstep
Taylor
here.
Live. Elgato Stream Deck of 2K23 was purchased by Thunderdomers Hal and Shannon.
Well, you don't need a monitor as long as the chats are working, right?
But just when I'm getting used to the monitor, though, it took me how many months now to get used to having it in front of me?
I'll work on a better solution.
All right,
for
bro.
you.
Yeah, as long as I can see the chiz-ats, we're good. We're good. Okay. No, so these guys all came out and braved the elements with us on Monday.
I wouldn't have done that.
I know, because
They're
you're an
good
asshole.
dudes. No, there's no way you would. No.
You would have cut a check, though, if I'd asked you, maybe.
Pockets
Well,
are
you're
kinda,
done. I know.
shallow these days.
I know. I know. We knew. You knew we were going to struggle for a while. You knew that the struggle was going to get real, and it is. That's just why I rely on my buddies that have money to help me out with stuff. And we raised $35,000 on Monday. Man, you bet your ass we did. The Kendall County Women's Shelter, which not that we don't like Kendall County, but I just feel like I should say that like 80% at least of the people that live in the Kendall County Women's Shelter, women and children, some men actually, 80% of them at least are from Bexar County. These are San Antonians, many of which, this shouldn't matter where they're from, but it's a place that houses victims of domestic violence who need a place to post up for a while to figure out what the hell they're going to do, And my girlfriend works for the Kendall County Women's Shelter, and we had a team of Thunderdomers that went out and played in the charity golf tournament to raise funds on Monday. Last year's golf tournament raised, in nice weather, raised $22,000 in the driving rain because there's sweet people out there, unlike LG, who don't give back to nothing. We went from 22 in the sunshine last year to $35,000 Monday in the freezing ass cold. Smoked last year's record. Thank you, Thunderdome. I appreciate that. And Dale, he wound up winning a bid on a Johnny Manziel Texas A&M Aggies jersey signed by Johnny Football, which is really cool. So thank you to those. I just wanted to thank those boys personally because they went out and they helped us raise $35K. Pretty badass, man. All right, what next? It is People I Want to Punch Wednesday, presented by the law office of Orlando Kell. We got to talk about this damn Spurs game last night. You bet your ass. So we were watching. We're going to do some boogie tour here in a little bit. So we were watching baseball a little bit, but then when the ball game ended, and I had my phone on the Spurs game. I just had like the box score. I kept refreshing the box score. And we were down 20 at one point. It was another ass whipping. They got beat by 40 to the Clippers the other night. And then here we are 2 nights later, and we're getting our ass run off the floor in Phoenix by a depleted Phoenix team that's missing 2 starters, for Pete's sake, and just getting our ass kicked by 20. But then in the fourth quarter, it was Los Spurs that ran Phoenix's ass off the floor. We smoked them like 30-something to 19 in the fourth quarter, came all the way back 20 points down to pull off a miracle win last night. It was a hell of a sports night in Phoenix, with the Rangers slaughtering Arizona down the street, and then the Suns blowing a 20-point lead to the Spurs down the street. It's a good night for Texas teams in Phoenix last night. So at the end of the game, so the Spurs come all the way back from down 20. Victor Wembanyama had a super slow start, got compared to Bol by those fucking idiots on TNT at the halftime. And then Wemby got cooking in the second half. And, of course, they had Wemby on the postgame show, and they kissed his ass. They didn't tell him he was Bol to his face, cowards, because they were wrong, and they knew it. They're just making up bullshit to kill television time. But anyway, sorry, I got a little mad last night at Charles Barkley. So the Spurs come all the way back from down 20 last night. And they get a key. So with a game on the line, Wemby dunks to pull the Spurs to within 1 point with 6 seconds to go. And so all the Suns have to do is inbound the ball to KD, 90% career free throw shooter, and the Spurs were going to have to foul him, figure he was going to make both free throws, and then try to get a miracle 3 to tie at the buzzer to force overtime. But what winds up happening down the stretch last night was, so the Spurs they pulled it within 1 on the Wemby dunk. LG's running some highlights of the game last night, if you're watching. And so we get the Wemby dunk and then the inbounds pass to KD with 6 seconds to go. Trey Jones, Mike Taylor Live's own Trey Jones, jumps in KD's face, distracts him, and KD completely lost track of Keldon Johnson, who came over to double team. And while KD was holding the ball away from Trey Jones, it was like stealing a toy from a kid in a daycare. Keldon just came up behind. That was a massive 3 right there by Vasil. We'll talk about him in a minute. So here's the inbounds pass. Jones distracts KD, and Keldon just snatches the ball from behind and then lays it in to give the Spurs the lead with 1 second to go. It's genius. Keldon I don't think Kevin Durant has seen Keldon yet. Never saw him coming. There's the replay. Just reaches behind him, never saw him, snags a ball from him. Suns were screaming for a foul, of course. And frankly, I'm stunned that there was no call, because that's Kevin Durant, and refs normally don't let you play any defense when it's KD. No call. Keldon takes the ball, lays it in, gives the Spurs a 1-point lead, and San Antonio winds up winning.
How do you not call a timeout? I mean, even still,
KD,
just call
he
it.
Probably should have.
Well, the coach too called before.
The Suns fucked up.
Call a timeout.
Yeah. And of course, Frank Vogel, who constantly gets jobs in the NBA because of his color of his skin. Ooh, race card. Frank Vogel, who always gets another job every time he gets fired. Of course, he had to defend KD, and he was bitching. The refs, he should have called a foul. Because if he doesn't, then KD acts like a little bitch and gets mad because his coach didn't have his back. But nonetheless, the Spurs get a hard-fought win after being down 20. Trey Jones was sensational for the Spurs down the stretch. Keldon Johnson was terrific. Wemby came on late. Devin Vassell had a full game. Full team effort last night, and the Spurs get out of there with a hard-fought win. And it was great. It was awesome to see. Now, to be fair, Phoenix is playing, but they're without Devin Booker. They're playing without Bradley Beal, who they just traded for. But oh well. What do I always say? You don't apologize for winning. Especially when you're this year's Spurs. It ain't your problem. In the NBA, that's just the way it is, man. Guys around the lineup every damn night. Back-to-backs, load management. Half the time you go to an NBA game, somebody's going to be out. So, yeah, the Suns probably win the game if they've got Devin Booker and Bradley Beal. But they didn't, and the Spurs took advantage of it. You don't apologize for winning in pro sports, especially on the road, especially in the NBA, especially this year's Spurs, and they get a win. After the game, they were asking Keldon Johnson about the steal. By the way, thank you, Tex-Mex Frank, for the $5. I see what he bought us. Keldon was talking about stealing the ball, and he said, quote, I seen Trey had him in the corner, and I was just like, shit, let's make a play. He's like, well, KD looks trapped over there. Trey's got him distracted. I'm just going to run over there and see if I can't sneak the ball from behind and get it out of his hands, and he did. Keldon says the worst that could happen was they call the foul and they shoot free throws, but we had to make something happen. Time was running down, so my mindset was just make a play on the ball, and after that, just try to finish it, and he did. Excellent night. So Keldon winds up with a 27-point night. Devin Vassell was fantastic with key buckets down the stretch when they were coming back. He had 18. Wemby finishes, after a slow start, mind you, 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks. This is a kid just still figuring out. He's only in his 4th game. He's a total pressure virgin, but he's got all the skill in the world, and he kicked ass, too, for the Spurs down the stretch. That was Wemby's most impressive game. I was more impressed by that than the Rockets game last Friday because of what was on the line, having to come back from down big. Every play had to be made, and he made them, man, and he was terrific down the stretch. And once again, I mentioned Trey Jones, so Pop continues to start former Baylor great Jeremy Sohan, but he's finishing the game with Trey Jones running point, which is fine. Start with Sohan, finish for Trey Johnson. That's just fine. All right, also today, I want to punch Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley just loves to do bits with our city. And last night he decided to do a bit with Wemby. It's because Chuck loves this town. Chuck's probably how much ass has Chuck pulled in this city over the years? An ass load, a penis load, and he just loves to mess with this town. Last night they get Wemby on the post game, and they were calling him a bust at the halftime. I should have pulled this too, comparing Wemby to Bowl. They were slurping his ass when they had him on in the post game, and Chuck decides to ask him about Mexican sweets. Here's the ridiculous Chudo interaction last night with Barkley and Wemby, and just embarrassed America with Barkley's stupid-ass question. Go ahead and roll that tape.
Victor, I got one final question. How do you say churro in French?
Churro? What is that?
Churro. You know what churro is. You've been in San Antonio long enough.
It's a dessert.
It's a dessert.
Just ask what it is.
The long donut.
What? I've never heard of that. All right. San Antonio people, put me on that. Hey, son, I need to try it.
We apologize for the way that ended.
Sure you guys gotta go.
Victor, I got.
There we go.
I'm
On
with
cue.
her. You know what? I'm with her. God dang, I'm right there with her on that. F you, Chuck. God dang, that's just dumb. Again, Wemby said after the game, he didn't even know what Barkley was saying because Barkley can't say the word churro. Hey, man, you ever heard, how do you say churro in French? Barkley can barely speak English. That's why Wemby's like, I have no idea what you just asked me. Churro? What's a churro? He's heard of a churro. He's seen it. And who cares a shit if he hadn't seen a damn churro? It's the last time you ate a churro. LG, go. Have you had a churro this year?
No. Not at all. Several years.
Several years. It's a long donut. So I watched the entire interview last night. And of course, Shaq has to ask a terrible question that he asked like a 45-second question. And it's like, Wemby can't see them because they sat Wemby down in a chair, just put headphones on him. He can only hear the guys. He can't see
That's an ass
them.
whip of a setup, by the way.
It's an ass whip.
What? And did you hear the fan heckling in the background?
Yeah.
There that usher there was trying to calm her down. You see his hand like going like this. Hey, calm it down. Calm it down.
Right. It's just a terrible. You're TNT. Get a better setup, man.
Bring the dude to the table with Reggie and them.
Or put him on camera. Let him be able
Get
to
him in the tunnel.
give him a monitor, whatever. God. We're just a fledgling little podcast, and we could have done a better job than TNT. So we can't see him as it is. And he's got, hey, I'm going to ask you a question. This is Shaq. I'm going to ask you a minute and a half long question that meanders and goes really nowhere and turns into a comment. So he has to fight through that. This is a kid that is French is his first language. And then, of course, thank God Kenny comes in because poor Kenny has spent 20 years cleaning up Barkley's mess and bullshit. Kenny asked a legit question. And then we get Barkley, hey, well, let me tell you about, have you ever had churro? And Wemby, of course, couldn't understand a word he was saying. It was embarrassing last night for Barkley, honestly. And Shaq, to be honest with you. And I love Shaq. Cole's own. If you go back and watch the entire interview last night, you will see two 60-year-old people interview a 19-year-old person, in which the 19-year-old person comes off as far more coherent, far more intelligent, far more real than the two knuckleheads last night trying to entertain the masses at midnight on TNT. It was embarrassing. I'm not one of these Barkley haters. And his whole thing with fat women in this town and the river being a swamp, that's all bullshit. It's all a bit. And I don't fall for it.
According to the Google machine, the French word for churro is churro.
Well, yeah, because there are no churros in France. That's specifically a Mexican dessert. It's Mexican snack.
They're worldwide. I've had them. I've had them in Spain. I've had them in Jakarta.
But they're Latino.
But they're always called churros, no matter what.
Right. There's no translation. It's just churro, no matter where you are. And Wemby couldn't understand what the hell Barkley was saying. A churro? What's a churro? Because Barkley don't know how to pronounce the son of a bitch. Barkley's trying to be funny and tanked. So punch Charles Barkley. I'm not anti-Charles Barkley. I don't fall for his anti-San Antonio bit. It's just shtick. It's funny. But last night that was stupid. All right, this show brought to you in part by San Antonio City Soccer, the official soccer club. Thunderdome is the San Antonio City Soccer Club. They have fields all over the city. The ones that we love the most. We love them all, but our heart obviously is at the ones on the far north side. The Speck Road fields where you will find Thunderdome Field. The official soccer pitch of Thunderdome is located up at 204 West Speck Road. And a lot of y'all do wind up going up there because a lot of y'all have kids or know somebody that plays soccer. And at some point, you'll wind up probably watching a game up here at Thunderdome Field. And if you do wind up watching a game up there, take a picture and send it to me and give me a shout out and let us know that you saw our field. There it is. It is the official soccer club of Thunderdome, San Antonio City Soccer Club. All right. Do you want to violate MLB copyright laws again for funsies? It is 10:34. You bet your ass. Yes, sir. Sorry, man. Whatever's blown in here with this cold-ass weather is put stuff right there. Right there. Tried to fart it out, but they don't work. I gotta gag it out. Just all this shit just stuck on my throat. All right. Before we get rolling into Boogie, a quick little housekeeping item. On Sunday, We're going to be doing Cowboys Overreact presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell live from the Ringer Pub. McFinnigan's is the official bar of Thunderdome that we've got a side piece, and we love her hard. Our Gumar, as Tony Soprano would call it, is the Ringer Pub on Jones Maltzberger and Thousand Oaks. And Sunday after the Cowboys-Eagles game, I figure we'll get on the air right around 6:30. They're going to have free hot wings, by the way. Free wings for people that show up and want to watch the Cowboys game with us. So come watch the game with us. I'll get there around 3:15. Kick off at 3:25. We'll watch Cowboys and Lawrence's Eagles. And then we'll have Cowboys Overreact presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell live from the Ringer this Sunday after the game is over. All right, last night, I didn't even turn the Spurs game on till late third quarter because of the 9 o'clock start, but our eyeballs were glued to Los Rangers de Texas. For the second time in a row, a Texas team is on the verge of winning the World Series. Of course, it was Houston last year. We've gotten accustomed to the Astros playing in the Fall Classic. We have not gotten accustomed to the Rangers playing in the World Series, who played in the 2010-2011 World Series, so it's been 12 years. And we've never had a Rangers World Championship because they've never won one. The Rangers moved from Washington as the Senators back in, 69, something like that, 70? Yeah, I know. And the Rangers have never won the World Series since. Never even sniffed the World Series until 2010. Got squashed by Bruce Bochy's Giants in 2010 in 5 games in a series that was not competitive. And then had the Heartbreak Hotel the following year in 2011, which has been well chronicled on this show over the years. But here the Rangers are, closer to winning a title than they've been since 2011 when they were literally a pitch away. But they've not had a 3-1 lead ever in the World Series until last night. We get another historic output by the Rangers offense that, say what you will, and it seems crazy to think, but it's true. This is one of the most prolific offenses, 1 through 9, that we've ever seen. Look at all of the numbers. Look at the productivity. Look at how they have just completely beaten the horse shit out of everybody they've played, with the exception of Houston. Even though, we had to have a seventh game, but the Rangers kicked their ass in Houston in Game 6 and 7. It's a Rangers juggernaut that went in there and just thumped Tampa Bay, who have won 90-something games like it was nothing. Then went to Baltimore on the road and crushed the Orioles, who won over 100 games like they were nothing. And then, of course, the Astros are badasses, and the Astros are a bunch of champs, and the Astros pushed the Rangers to a 7th game. But in Game 7, what did the Rangers do? Just beat their ass with an offense that I've never seen an offense nearly as good as this. Not in the last 30 years. I've not seen an offense this consistent that annihilates you the way it does and just takes the life out of you the way it does. I've not seen it in 30-some-odd years, if not ever, in my lifetime. Another historic output last night offensively for Texas. They have a 10 spot on the board in the 3rd inning. They're the first team in World Series history to have back-to-back innings in which they score 5 runs or more. It was 10-0 in the 3rd inning. And they cruised to an 11-7 win last night. And your Rangers, San Antonio, have a 3-1 lead in the World Series. And, just the gods are with the Rangers this year. Adolis Garcia, who has carried their offense in the postseason, if not Corey Seager, it's been Adolis Garcia. He's done for the series. Tweaked a muscle in his back in the previous game. Couldn't play last night. Apparently delivered some sort of Cuban Newt Rockney speech last night to the boys before the game. And it was a real heartfelt, emotional speech. Apparently, Garcia addressed the boys, told them, fuck it, I'm sorry I'm out. It sucks to be hurt. Go win the game anyway. And they go out there and just beat the tar out of Arizona. It's 10-0. People are still settling into their seats last night, and it's 10-0. It was unbelievable. The Rangers have also now lost Max Scherzer for the series because his back locked up, and he's done. He's probably done ski. I don't know. I mean, Max may play next year, but he's not going to play more than another year. But they just get amazing output. Obviously, Corey Seager, he can't be stopped. He just does what he does. Hits another homer last night. But you lose Adolis Garcia, and the guy that filled in for Adolis Garcia was a guy called Travis Jankowski, who hadn't played at all in the postseason. Has to get called into duty in the World Series because Garcia gets hurt. And what does Jankowski do? Singles in a run in the second inning, and then hits a 2-run double in the third, and he's one of the big catalysts in the 10-run output. The backup who fills in for the injured guy kicked ass last night. It's just the Rangers' year, y'all. It is the Rangers' year. Finally, Marcus Semien got rolling. Semien struggled most of he's the one guy in the lineup who struggled. He kicked ass last night. And so the Rangers now lead 3-1. It's Alvin's own Nathan Eovaldi who will take the mound tonight, who was not good in Game 1, looking to bounce back and lead the Rangers to a victory, all on the road, man. The Rangers now, not only do they have arguably one of the 10 or 20 greatest offenses in World Series history, they have the best road team in the history of the World Series. They're 10-0 on the road. No one's ever even gotten close to going 10-0 on the road. They now do. So it's a Rangers team. I don't want to get ahead of myself here. Stranger things have happened. And longtime Rangers fans, like me, can attest that if something can possibly go wrong, it can. This thing is not over. I want to emphasize this. This thing is not over. But boy, so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I cannot see the Rangers. And by the way, all the 10 runs all came with 2 damn outs. It's incredible. Anyway, I just cannot see them losing this lead now against an overmatched Arizona squad. Unbelievable. And so I don't want to get ahead of myself, but it's hard not to think just where this group's come. This is a team that lost 100 games 2 years ago. This is a club that invested $500 million in Seager and in Semien, and everybody's like, that's great, where's the pitching? Cool, you threw a half a billy at a middle infield, and that's great, but you're not going to do any winning. And credit Semien and Seager. They come in here last year and get their ass kicked all year, and now it's all come together. The Rangers have strung together just enough pitching to help do their part with this ridiculous offense. Seager and Semien signed for a combined $500 million. They have 6 RBIs apiece in the World Series. Seager is the first shortstop in baseball history to have 3 home runs in a World Series. A-Rod never did it. Jeter never did it. Ripken never did it. And all the other great shortstops never did it. Seager's done it. Seager's a kid who won the MVP of the World Series with the Dodgers back in 2020. And he is arguably the MVP now. With Adolis Garcia getting hurt, if Seager has a good game tonight and they win, he's probably going to be the MVP. In the history of baseball, here are the only guys who ever won more than one MVP in a World Series. Sandy Koufax, Bob Gibson, Reggie Jackson. That's it. It may be Corey Seager who joins those 3. It's incredible. It's incredible. And it's funny because Arizona totally outplayed the Rangers in the first 2 games back in Arlington, if not for the miracle home run in the 9th inning by Seager and the walk-off by Adolis in the 11th in Game 1. Arizona wins both of the games in Texas. But the Rangers, like they've been doing all playoffs, go on the road and have just dominated Arizona. Shut them down offensively, beat them 3-1 in Game 3, and then just kicked their ass last night from stem to stern. And I'll say this about it's hard to put into words as a Rangers fan, and it's going to be hard to put into words if they win, which I do think they're going to. And we're going to do a cut-in tonight. At the top of the 8th inning, no matter what the score is, we're going to cut in tonight for members only, and we're going to, me and LG are going to have a Taylor Lawrence cast with some help from Nina probably yelling things in the background, and we're going to watch the Rangers, see if they can't close this thing out tonight, starting with the top of the 8th inning. Right, LG? That's what we're going to do tonight. Right, LG? Right?
Sure.
Absolutely. There it is. It's promised. It's hard to put into words. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. I want to react to it in real time. But to grow up a Rangers fan in the Metro Sex, in Tarrant County, struggling with this thing, I spent 20 years with this organization just being a ding-dong, never knowing what the hell they were doing, never knowing their ass from a hole in the wall. This organization just had idiots. It was a trapdoor on a kayak. It just made no sense, the shit they've done for 40 years. They've gotten close a couple of times. Lightning struck a couple of times and they got close. But boy, it's an organization that's far more known for their dubious things than their good shit. And to have them on the brink of the World Series, it's got me out of words. And so I'm just going to wait and react to it in real time tonight. Again, we don't want to overreact too hard here, but, I've been watching baseball all my life. And, I just don't throw shit out arbitrarily. I try not to anyway. I have never seen a better shortstop. I don't care if the Rangers blow the lead and lose the series. I have never seen a more skilled shortstop ever than Corey Seager. Never. And I loved Derek Jeter. I didn't love A-Rod. A-Rod was amazing. Of course, A-Rod spent half his career at third base because when he went to the Yankees, they were too pussy to move Jeter to second base and keep A-Rod at short, which they should have done because A-Rod was a better shortstop than Jeter. He was. But nonetheless, A-Rod played 10 years at third base, so he don't count. Jeter was a great shortstop. In the 80s when I was a little kid, Ozzie Smith and Cal Ripken were the two best shortstops most of the 80s. And I've just never seen a better shortstop, skill-wise, defensively, offensively, five-tool guy, and then put it together the way he does in the postseason with his history in the World Series back with the Dodgers and now what he's done this year with Texas. I have never seen a better shortstop ever than Corey Seager. He's the best shortstop I ever seen. He's already one of the 10, 15 best shortstops probably in the history of the game. I've never seen anybody better, not physically, not talent-wise. It's incredible, and the Rangers are on the brink, and we'll see if I cry tonight during our cut-in for members only. All right, it is People I Want to Punch Wednesday, presented by the Law Office of Orlando Kell. Lots of y'all punching Jerry Jones, Tex-Mex Frank. Freaking Jerry is not the transaction gunslinger he used to be. Not enough Viagra around to get him back to his old dick-swinging ways. Thank you, Frank. Frank didn't write dick. He wrote D. I just added the ick to the D. Dat Homie's in here. Great comeback by the Spurs. KD being a whiny crybaby. What's new? That's what he does.
To be fair, in the post game, he did say, even though he thought he was fouled, he said, I do need to take care of the ball. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have let the ball get away.
Thank you. That's fine. But KD that's just it. See, KD has created this persona for himself because he spent 20 years being a little bitch, having burner accounts on Twitter, having all this thin skin, getting mad because his over the top, insufferable mom that shows up to all the games and acts like Brittany Mahomes.
Did you see them cutting to her last night?
Oh, yeah.
That was awful.
You have to. It's awful.
I wouldn't be surprised if she was the heckler during Wemby's interview.
She's probably the reason why he ain't been able to make a relationship last. I guess I'm getting kind of personal here, but can you imagine being a young woman trying to hook up with KD and having to deal with that mama and her titties always in KD's mouth? It's unfortunate. I guess I got super personal there for a moment, but fuck it. It is what it is. Rick's sitting here. Taylor, Vassell and Keldon need to pass the ball up to Wemby. Victor's the number one pick. Those two mentioned Jags would be the 6th and 7th guy on any other NBA team outside of San Antonio. That is a dumbass opinion, Rick. You couldn't be more incorrect. I'll give you Keldon. You couldn't be more incorrect on Devin Vassell. He is a rising star in the league. He is clearly the best player on the team right now. We'll check back in a month. It's probably going to wind up being number one at some point. Will become the best Spur. Wemby is not the best Spur right now. Vassell is clearly the best Spur. I'll give you Keldon. Keldon's a good, solid player on a good team. He's a good rotation player. I don't want to bash Keldon Johnson. Keldon was terrific last night. Saved the damn game with the steal. Had 27, Rick. But Vassell's a stud. Matter of fact, by the way, I won 2 raffles the other day at the golf tournament. And I was all excited about the booze that I won, but I got looking into the basket. In addition to winning a bunch of free booze, there was a gift card that I won from Academy. $50 at Academy was in the gift basket that I won. Maybe I can find me a Devin Vassell jersey at Academy.
Yeah, there you go.
I checked Dick's. They didn't have any. Try to check Academy. I'll let you know how it goes with I'm in my quest for it. Devin Vassell jersey. I don't want to drive all the way down to the Arenas Pro Shop to get me one. I'm trying to find one out here where we live, or near where you live, here at 3975 Anderson Lane here over by Judson High School.
Apartment 211, penthouse level.
Yeah, don't bother going to that address because LG's got pit bulls downstairs and he's got a door guy and bars and the whole bit. You'll never get in. LPJ Salazar, that zone defense helped the Spurs get back in the game. Keldon Energy was fire. Yeah. Pop went to a zone last night, and the Suns could no longer score. It was great. Yeah, so Pop also contributed to last night's win. All right, show also brought to you in part by R&R Auto Glass. These are the people that you need to turn to if you have busted windshield in your car, sunroof damage, chipped glass, however you get the glass burst in your car. Go get it fixed, home squeezes. It is R&R Auto Glass right there by the airport at 281 in Tacoma. If you're going northbound on 281, you exit Tacoma, you hook a left. It's down just past the Cochino store that sells all the vibrators and everything, just down past them on the left-hand side. Tell them I sent you in there. They'll hook you up with a Taylor Especial. Get a discount. Hey, I got my insurance at the Pulga. That's okay. They take every insurance known to man. As long as it's accredited, they take it at R&R Auto Glass. Hit them up at 210-340-2588. 340-2588 or rnrautoglass.com, rnrautoglass.com. Some parting shots here. The first college football playoff ranker has been released. And at the top of the list, we have Ryan Day, the coach of Ohio State, who has the worst dyed beard job I've ever seen. You get a chance today on the commode or something, you get 5 minutes extra. Google,
it takes me longer than that. Yeah.
Google Ryan Day. You take longer than 5? I get it.
I take my time. Well, It depends on the situation, but in the morning I like to take my time.
That's why I drink Metamucil and eat a lot of greens, so just
bananas are good too.
Bananas are good. No, Ryan Day, the coach of Ohio State, has the worst dyed beard job I've ever seen. It is incredible, and I want to punch him in the face. Punch Ryan Day, the coach at Ohio State, for having the most god-awful fake-ass black beard I've ever seen. The Buckeyes are number 1. Those speed racers at Georgia, the defending national champion, they're number 2. Michigan, who's been exposed for spying on all their opponents this week, they're number 3. TCU knew Michigan was going to games and stealing signals. That's why TCU came up with a brilliant plan to throw Michigan off the trail. In the semifinal last year, when we shocked Michigan in the semifinals and went to the Natty, we were holding up all these fake signs because everyone knows that Michigan cheats their balls off, and they send all these assistants out to all these different games to sit down low and spy and take pictures and shit of all the teams' play cards. They'll flash these cards. It'll have like Pokemon and Bozo the Clown, Tony Bourdain and goofball signs. Michigan's been stealing them. And the Frogs caught wind of it, and the Frogs had a different system for delivering signals to the offense, and they were flashing fake cards the whole night and threw Michigan's ass off. It's ridiculous that we don't have microphones in the helmet of the quarterback. It needs to be like the NFL. There needs to be a microphone in the captain of the defense, or whoever you pick on defense, middle linebacker, whoever you want. There needs to be a microphone inside the ear hole of the quarterback so the coach can deliver plays and not have to worry about flashing dumbass cards of Betty Boop and Pac-Man in the air. Looks dumb. Florida State's number 4. Number 5 is Washington. Oregon's number 6. I like that. Hang on for a second. I'm doing a fucking podcast, fucker. Stop calling me, you fucking asshole. Anyway, so then Florida State's number 4. Washington's 5. Oregon, they're 6. I like that coach at Oregon. He caught shit for the stuff he talked mess about Dion last month. He caught a lot of shit for that. I like that dude. He's got swagger. He's got just as much swagger as Dion. I like that guy. Hopefully he's got a good domestic scene. Hopefully he don't have some girlfriend that won't eat no fish, because you can't trust a woman that won't eat fish, Lawrence. So I don't know much about I don't know much about the coach at Oregon, but I like his style anyway. Texas, your Longhorns are 7th. Texas, they're 7th. Okay, fine. I think they're going to get beat Saturday. Kansas State has gotten real good. K-State's damn good. They're solid. Texas is up Rio de Caca Saturday playing Kansas State. That defense better kick ass, because Kansas State, Malik Murphy had a good showing this week. The backup who's playing because overrated Quinn Ewers, I guess, is hurt another week. Malik Murphy's good, but he's green. And Kansas State may just kick Texas' ass Saturday. Bama's 8. That overrated ass Brent Venables in Oklahoma, they're 9. And Ole Miss is 10. All right, so that's it. Okay, look, well, as we get out of here, we need help. We need support from Mike Taylor Live. If you like this show, here comes the telethon portion. If you want to keep this show on the air, we need your support, Thunderdome. LG's running out of money. And we gotta make sure that we continue to fuel this program. We know we're not going to get rich. We're not asking to get rich, but ask any of our partners we've had over the years. San Antonio City Soccer, R&R Autoglass, any of the people that we've done business with before in the past that have been partners of our show. Ask any of them. All of them will tell you Taylor was awesome. I loved working with that show. Those guys are hilarious. They're funny. They're genuine. They're good dudes. And I got my money's worth by doing business with that show. And all my past and present and future endorsers and advertisers and partners love all y'all hard. And as y'all know, those have been with me for a long time, I make our partners part of the show. They are part of the familia of Thunderdome. And we're looking for some. It's been a minute since I tried to hustle, but Lawrence called me last night. You motherfucker! I need tires for my car. You need to get your ass on there and start pimping our show more. You don't ever solicit anymore for advertisement.
Hell, I need
that's
a
what
new
I'm
car,
doing.
not just tires.
Yeah, you do. I noticed your spare you got on the front right side today when I showed up.
Unfortunate.
LG's now he's running with a spare tire. Hey man, we're struggling. We knew we would for a little while. The struggle is real. But I don't care if we have $1 million in the bank. I mean, we're not going to do shows for free. So we don't charge a lot. All I'm saying is, if you want to do business with us, hit me up. It's not nearly as expensive as you might think. We're just trying to get tire money. That's it. We love you hard. We know we're never going to get rich doing this, but it's fun. And there's incentive because you see what we did with 3 Cents podcast once again yesterday over at Prestige Motorsports. We're using all of Love You Hard's equipment for 3 Cents podcast. And that stuff costs money to travel, the upkeep, all this. I got yelled at for LG for not showing up in time because he needed to check the mics. We have a lot of production costs. It costs money to do a show the right way. So that's all we're really trying to do is recoup some of the cash for production cost, So hit me up. Slide into my DMs. Shoot me an email at MikeTaylorShow@gmail.com. Shoot me a message on Instagram, whatever it might be. If you're interested in partnering with our show, we treat our clients like familia. We are going to go the extra mile to make sure you get just as much out of working with us as we do from you. All right, that's it. We're done. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate Thunderdome for watching. We're going to cut in tonight during the World Series at the top of the 8th inning and see if we can't have a glorious night together as the San Antonio Rangers try to close it out tonight in Phoenix against the Diamondbacks. Thank you, DJ LG. Thank you to me. Thank you to Ellie the Dogo. Love y'all hard. We'll see you in here mañana for Fart Drop Thursday. Join us tonight, members, for the World Series, 8th inning. Love you hard. Peace out later.
Come back, you puppy!
This program was made possible by contributions from viewers and listeners like you. Thank you.
This is a Bronx-bound